decided to sign Senate Bill 1070 into law because, though many people disagree, I firmly believe it represents what's best for Arizona.
And with the stroke of a pen, April 23rd, Governor Jan Brewer signed that law, igniting an uproar around Arizona and the nation.
She says this new law is just another tool to solve a crisis the federal government has refused to fix: illegal immigration. Good evening, I'm Tom McNamara.
And I'm Christy Tedesco. Thanks for joining us. This is a special edition of News 4 Tucson, A Nation Divided. SB 1070, it's something the entire nation has heard about.
And talked about. It has sparked debate, protest, boycotts, and in some ways has divided our state. Arizona's new immigration law grabbed national attention the minute the governor signed it. Supporters and opponents making their voices heard. It's also triggered a boycott of our state, called for by Arizona Congressman Raul Grijalva. For the next half hour, we're focusing solely on Arizona's controversial illegal immigration law and its fallout. Well, here at News 4 Tucson, we pride ourselves on. Many of you say the media, News 4 and national media, is not presenting the sides equally.
Hundreds of viewers have called, they've emailed, lots of comments out there on our website, also our Facebook page. We get nearly equal complaints saying that we are for or against the law. Here's a couple of them. Linda Bonville says, "It seems to me you want this 1070 bill to be a problem in Arizona. More people are for the bill than are against the bill. Please accept that and move on. Dividing the people isn't good for anyone. What if the people that are for the bill decided to stop going to Mexican restaurants and businesses? That would be as stupid as the states that are going to boycott Arizona."
And on our Facebook page, Rebecca writes, "Don't worry, they," meaning KVOA, "will remove everyone's comments that don't support SB 1070. Also from our Facebook page, Amanda writes, "KVOA has proved to be subjective and not objective in immigration matters. Surprised me, KVOA, changed my mind."
While we strive for objectivity, we admit it's difficult. It seems everyone has an opinion, strongly held opinions at that. We sent News 4 Tucson's Rebecca Taylor to the streets, and she found two local families with two very different views.
Señor, how are you? Muy bien, todo bien, qué bueno, and enjoy.
Greeting customers and trying to boost business.
Everything okay?
Rigoberto Lopez, owner of Rigo's Family Restaurant in South Tucson, says recent boycotts against Arizona are crimping his cash register.
Maybe 20%.
He says longtime customers, multi-generational families, no longer eat out for fear they'll be stopped and questioned, or worse, deported.
You have the papers? You know, it's a worry that everybody.
It's not invasive whatsoever, in my opinion.
Sean Hoffman, a South Tucson business owner and father of two,
Bring it back.
supports the enforcement of SB 1070.
I'm not opposed to immigration. I love immigration. That's what this country is built on. But illegal immigration is taking advantage of what this country has to offer all of its citizens.
Hoffman feels some opponents of the bill aren't fully informed, so he carries a copy in his back pocket to change opinions.
I hope so. I've printed out other copies and given it to other friends.
No matter what side of the debate you're on, one thing is certain: Arizona has the spotlight in a nation divided. I'm Rebecca Taylor, News 4 Tucson.
Border security is getting attention on the national level. As we told you yesterday, President Obama ordered 1,200 National Guard troops to the southwest border. When and how many will end up in Arizona has not been released, but we do know the president is also asking Congress for $500 million for border security. Along the border, mixed reaction. Some are happy to get the manpower, but they worry military presence will be bad for local business.
We got a call on our cell phones that someone had broken into our house, and it was illegals. They had been staying there for the length of time that we were gone.
The more fear there is, the more negative impact that we have in our economy. I'm talking about border economy.
Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords applauds the president's move, while Senators John McCain and John Kyle say 1,200 troops, well, that's just not enough. Well, the governor has asked Arizona's Peace Officer Standards and Training Board to actually come up with a plan and instruct officers on how to enforce the law properly when it takes effect late July.
Local law enforcement leaders have already spoken about this, and today 3 of the 4 southern Arizona sheriffs sat down with News 4's Lupita Murillo to talk about their opposing views on SB 1070.
On the panel, 2 border sheriffs, Tony Estrada from Santa Cruz County.
I feel that immigration and Border Patrol should be doing the job and not us. We're not equipped.
Larry Deaver from Cochise County.
This is a federal law enforcement responsibility to secure our borders. As Sheriff Babju said, in the absence of fulfilling that responsibility, we're stuck with the problem, and we would be derelict in our duties to turn our back and say we can't and won't do anything about it.
Sheriff Paul Babju is not on the border, but it's in Pinal County where illegal border crossers and drug smugglers go through to get to Phoenix.
Of all the illegals that come into America, more than half come through just here in Tucson. The only way to stop that is to have armed soldiers, 3 or 4 per site, a quarter mile to your right, a quarter mile to your left. They can see each other, and you actually have a virtual curtain.
What I do have a problem is if they are armed and they have confrontations with people coming across the border. That is going to be an international issue coming out there.
The cost of enforcing SB 1070 would mean increasing the budgets for police training, jails, and prosecutions.
We can't afford it. It's very obvious we can't afford it.
Well, will it cost some more? Yes, it will. But what cost are we paying? What price are we paying in the absence of that kind of consequence?
And this is where we cannot afford not to address this issue because the federal government has not.
Will a fence help secure the border?
Build the fence, a double barrier fence that's been built in California, that has been completed in the Yuma sector and has proven successful.
I don't believe in fences. I don't believe in barriers. They don't stop people.
I don't believe in stop signs either. They really impede my progress, but I think they're very necessary.
So what are some of the solutions to securing the border?
But to me, the solution is 3,000 Border Patrol agents instead of 3,000 military.
And the reason why I respectfully disagree is we literally could hire 3,000 more Border Patrol agents, 2,000 more police officers in Arizona, and it's a hamster wheel. This doesn't stop. This cycle doesn't stop.
What they all agree on is this.
I would agree that 1070 certainly is not a panacea for all our immigration wounds.
As law enforcement officers, we will do whatever it takes to protect the people of this country.
Lupita Murillo, News 4 Tucson.
Well, we invited Pima County Sheriff Clarence Dupnick, who was against the law, to participate today. While he wanted to attend, he was unavailable. But you can see much more of the roundtable discussion at kvoa.com.
Meantime, the area's largest police department also eyeing that July day the law takes effect. Tucson Police Chief Roberto Villaseñor told me his department will be ready.
Whatever happens with this, whether it gets upheld by the courts or overturned by the courts, we are going to enforce the law appropriately, and I'm confident in my people's ability to do so.
Tonight at 10, you'll hear more from the chief, his plan and his concerns as the department moves forward. And we are just getting started on this special edition of News 4 Tucson, A Nation Divided. Up next, what the law actually says and the new poll showing how people feel about it. Also, the trouble now between California and Arizona, a power struggle between the states.
And 2 members of Congress with 2 very opposing views on the law. We'll sit down with Senator McCain and Congressman Grijalva.
And how other states are looking at our new law to try and enact one of their own. It's all coming up in 1 minute.
Folks, this